Alright. My goodness, someone liked them only less than a minute in. Good shit, man. Ooh, that's an old one. Maybe. Yeah, 1946. There's a wheat penny under. Watched your table build video. Really enjoyed it. Really? Thank you. Again, feel free to use my methods for you. But again, I do warn you, there is a lot of sawdust that gets produced as a byproduct of making that table. And of course, I don't think I have to say this. Don't attempt it with glass. Never sort pennies on a glass table. Don't. Because it's nice, you'll scratch up your table. You will destroy it. Not worth it. Also, as a gamer... Oh, thank you. As a gamer, it's actually pretty nice because I can't rage by hitting... If anybody ever wonders why they watch me play video games and I rage by slamming my table, my chair, it's because I can't slam my desk because it's made of glass. I got that desk for about $220. Actually, no, I did get it for $220. It's a very cheap glass desk for what it is. Good deal on that desk, and I've had it for about 6 years now. It's got a little scratchy in it, but I like it. Anyway, let's go. We got a first hit here. Bad news. We got two. Oh, wait. Are we gonna have a lucky box today? Are we gonna have a lucky box today, chat? Are we gonna have a lucky box today? Ooh, this is interesting. 1944 Philadelphia, 1958 Denver, 1948 Denver, 1953 Denver, 1954 Denver. Holy, we got 5 in the first roll alone. We place over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Half of the box average in one roll. Wowzers. We may have a good box today, chat. Either that's very lucky, or, that box is, or we just got what I call a Brenner box. I have a new phenomena, and I call this new phenomena the Brenner box. A box that produces wheat pennies over 50. So if it has over 50, I call it the Brenner box as a nod to the guy who designed the penny, Victor David Brenner. This is a cute little nod. Okay, if this is one of my quote-unquote Brenner boxes, we may be getting 100. Let's check another roll. I don't know. Let's keep checking. We may have just gotten really, really lucky there. Who knows? No, I think we got lucky. Oh yeah, we just got lucky. $17 Philly. Yeah, we just got a really lucky beginning roll. $17 Philly. Okay. Yeah, we did get really lucky. Where did you get your mat? I got it off Amazon. If you search up Amazon Penny Mat, you can get it. I actually got a... I think I got a 4-pack. And if you get this penny mat, you may actually get a wheat penny involved with it. It's a really cool thing. I think they're like about $5, maybe 13 at most. But I got all the mats except for like $50 and dollar coin. I don't really do those as often. I will, yeah. A little cheapness, a little cheap, nice thing. I will say, if you do use it, make sure you put some weight on it, because if you don't, it'll shift. You can't see it, but off camera, there's a little wooden clip glued to my desk. I might have shown that in the video you may watch. But that clip, one of the clips fell off. But there's one holding it onto the desk. That way I don't, pull this whole thing off. It'll be blurred out and censored when you get the mat on Amazon. But this is what it looks like. It's really nice. Double sided type? I don't know. There's no double side here. Oh. Yep, another one with multiple BDs in it. Three of them. 1947 Denver, 1948 Denver, and 1951 Denver. Weight penny number 6, 7, and 8. Double-sided tape. A double-sided tape. I'm sorry. I already did that, but sometimes it likes to push up. But also, I want to be able to remove it, so if I want to search like quarters, dimes, or nickels, whatever, I could just swap out. Yeah. Estimate. Alright, 20 rolls, 10 rolls in, we should have 2 wheat pennies, we got 8. There we go. Another one. Another one. Yeah, we might have a little bit of a luckier box today. Estimate. 1957 Denver, 1949 Denver, 1958 Denver. We're getting a lot of Denvers today. Wheat pennies number 98911. Hello, other viewer. Philly. So yeah, back then, the reason I have this pipe here is back then I used to like scoop them out. Like, you know, I'm scooping out the copper. I used to do that with every penny, and I'd always spill them on my damn legs. And it started bugging me, so I like, okay, what if I just, you know, get a funnel and just throw them down, and they lead to a pipe in the back of my desk, and then there we go. It just and I did it, and ooh, that is nice. 2 wheat pennies practically touching each other. Not practically, they are touching each other. Good. Oh, there's another one. More Denver ones. Another one. The Denver? Yep, it is. A lot of Denvers today. 1952 Denver, 1956 Denver, 1958 Denver, 1953 Denver. Nice. Wheat pennies number 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes. There we go. That will recoup for the somewhat sub-average performance of the other boxes, like 2 boxes. I have 3. I think we had 3 boxes that had like 8. Another one. 70 buddies. Yes, it does. Alright, 1940 Philly and 1955 Denver. We pay number 16 and 17. Let's go. Yay. By the way, great news, guys. We have surpassed 6,000 wheat pennies. 6,000 Wheaties. Yeah, 6,010 roughly. Feels not too long ago. By the way, the wheat penny I showed off in this 5,000 post, the 5,000 wheat penny post, that one's actually 4,999. Yikes. My life is a lie. I've lost the true 5,000th wheat penny. I better not lose the 10,000. Of that 6,000, I've got about 1,100 of those were purchased. 1,000 of them were given to me by my dad for a graduation gift. I didn't want to get them bought. Now, people might say, oh, why'd you just go buy wheat pennies? I don't want to, Canadian penny. I want to find them. I want to, like, for example, here's how I see it, right? Let's say you take Mount Everest. You could take a helicopter to the top, right? You could say, I'm on top of Mount Everest. But you didn't do the work to get up to Mount Everest. You just got into you got a helicopter that gets you up. You didn't climb. You didn't struggle. No, you just went right up to the top. I could buy all the wheat pennies I want. The amount of money I put in the coin sorters, I could have gotten the 1909 VDBS by now. But I want to find it. Are the odds stacked against me? Yes. I've crunched it. I have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. Probably 30 times better, if not wrong, than getting a 1909 VDBS. 1950 Denver. Wheat penny number 18. But, still. I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to stop until I get I don't know if I'll stop until I get every single one. 17 Philly. Canadian penny. You never know. That's why we hunt. Exactly. Honestly, my sources point towards roughly 20,000 1909 VDBS wheat pennies circulating. That is minuscule. Because here's the cool thing about hunting. I could be holding a several $1,000 penny in my hand right now. There could be a 1909 VDB in here. Most likely there's not. But they're good. You never know what's inside until you crack it open. Ooh, shiny one. 1957 Denver. Let's see if it's got some buddies. Yes, it does. It's got another one. Just Canadian penny. $1957 Denver, 1956 Denver. Wheat pennies number 19 and 20. Honestly, penny hunting is like gambling, but unlike it, you can return what you don't want. The only thing you lose is time. You lose money by, you lose spending money, but you lose time. You know, also a really good thing I could do is I might publish my data to Numismatists. If I keep going, like, every single day, I can publish we could see, like, if there's a declination of wheat penny drops. Which there is. Wheat pennies are getting rarer as more pennies get added. And because, you know, oh, there's a wheat penny right there. Another one right there, too. Because, you know, pennies and coins get lost, and that's just natural. Oh. 3 of them, 1957 Denver, 1942 Philly, and 1944 Philly. Wheat pennies number 21, 22, 23. Of my almost 3 years of coin hunting, I've only seen one 1909 VDBS. It was at El Paso, Illinois, and it was in it was in a mall. I actually went to that mall and I have a YouTube video of me hunting for radioactive stuff in that mall. It's like one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest antique thrift stores I've ever seen. One of the biggest in the area. Definitely the biggest in the county. But they get so pissed when when you ask them to go open up the drawers. It's like, dude, you don't lock stuff up if you don't want to unlock. Alright, 20 rolls in, we should have 4 wheat pennies. We got 23. Doing very good. Very, very, very good. If you want to know my most amount of wheat pennies I've ever gotten from Unbox, it stands at 158, a freak of nature-esque box. Yes, you heard me right, 158. And I think that was box 166? I think it was 166. I know. It actually, either that or it might have been a box, I'm not kidding you, box 169. So that was more than 3 years, no, 3 months ago. Another one. Any more? Ready? 1952 Denver. We pay number 24. And the rarest penny I've ever found, and actually it ties for the rarest coin I've ever found, is the 1924 Denver with a mintage of no more than 3 million. That is my, like, what was it? What's the word? Magnum opus? That is my magnum opus of coin finds. It's my favorite one I've got, or one of my favorites. It's the 1924 Denver. Today, the 1924 Denver ranks as the 5th rarest penny by mintage number, and it ranks as 5th by rarest wheat penny. The top 10 rarest pennies are wheat pennies. Every single one is a wheat penny. It should be surprised because, of course, back then, like, our manufacturing capabilities for coinage today is much more advanced. Coin production started to go up rapidly in the 1880s as the steam press was invented. Back then, if I'm not wrong, they had to manually press, and there's 09, and it was so slow that they would only churn out like a couple tens of thousands a year, if on a lucky year. But then as the steam press came around, they went from churning out roughly about like the tens of thousands to the hundreds of thousands. And of course, the biggest advancement in coin striking technology is electric striking devices. And today, our striking devices are coin strikes. We can strike roughly 6 billion coins a year of one type. Like 6 billion pennies can be struck a year. Which still, in my opinion, are way too much. That is nuts. Honestly, I think we should compromise between making that many pennies and then getting rid of them. I think each mint should be restricted to only I'd say like 500 million coins. This is more coins than amount of American people, or at most 250 million a year from each mint. I mean, I found wheat pennies that are in the 250 million marks. Mintages, and they're still around. I mean, the 44 Denver has a mintage of 1 billion, and it still circulates very frequently. In fact, it is literally impossible for you to have a wheat penny collection and not have one. 1949 Denver. Wheat penny number 25. Hello, other viewer. I mean, 44 is so common that I have at least like 300 of them. 300 of my over 6,000 wheat pennies right now are literally 44 for Philly. I will say another thing I have also heard is that 10% of pennies every single year are lost. And let's be honest, it's because of people like me that hoard. I'm part of the problem, and I'm not going to deny it. And every collector is. Does that make them bad? Nah. Honestly, I have a way better compromise. Strike pennies out of steel. Now listen, right? The penny is the best coin to strike out of steel because it actually makes money. You can flip steel about twofold. It takes, let's say, for every cent you put into producing a steel penny, you get 3 cents out of it. It is a money make. You're not just like printing pennies or striking pennies at a loss. You're striking them at a gain. Can you imagine? Here's the thing, right? If this was steel quarters, I would say yeah, no, because quarters are used for vending machines. Pennies aren't. If you take a penny and you go to literally almost any vending machine, the penny will go all the way through. It won't even be accepted. Ooh. 1946 Philly. Oh, no, that's in Denver. That's 46 Denver. Canadian penny. And honestly, I might make like a little video about it, but here's my thoughts about the... Before I do that, I'm going to announce the years. 46 Denver and 44 Denver is a wheat pennies number 2627. Hello, other viewer. I think you let them know. I think, honestly, pennies, even if they stop striking, I think we might still use them. And here's why. I'm going to give you some confidence. Pennies, by the way, I did a project where I added every single, like I did like a chart of production of every single coin by every single mint of every single year from 1792 to 2023. And I tallied pennies, and they make up 65% of American coins. If you took, if no coins were lost between 1793 and today, nothing was lost, and you picked out 100 coins, 65 of those, maybe 66, would be pennies. Small pennies, ranging from the the Flying Eagle head, Indian head cent, and the modern day Legion penny. Yes, you heard me right. Small pennies, small cents, consist of 65% of our coin supply. Run that through your head. That's 550 billion of them. They are there's 09. They are extremely population heavy. And here's the thing, what I think about it. Ready? The $50, I can see a couple more Wheaties. Oh yeah, I can see a bunch more Wheaties. Here's something I say to make me feel better about the end of the penny, if it happens. Is that, I don't think we're gonna, like, demonetize. Now, we gotta know something. There's a thing called demonetization. And it means when a coin or a piece of money is taken out of circulation, it's no longer made any. It's no longer, whatever. Okay, 1944 Philly, 1953 Denver, 1951 Denver, 1957 Denver. We pay as number 28, 29, 30, and 31. $50, they stopped striking $50 for business strikes after 2003. They still make them, but for like business strikes, like, what the hell is a business strike, you may be asking, if no one knows? A business strike is what is on my desk right now. You strike them for businesses, public circulation, yada, yada, yada. Then we got the proof strikes. The proof strikes are the ones for collectors. They're worth a little bit more. They have way better quality. They're a lot shiny. And they usually come from San Francisco or West Point. Now, even though half dollars, we don't really strike them for businesses, they still circulate. You can go to the bank right now and go buy them. Now, you might be asking, oh, about twos? I don't think twos count because we still make them. In fact, the last batch of twos came out roughly 3 months ago. And we're starting to print them in the 2021 series, if I'm not wrong. So yes, that is a myth. Twos are being printed. A pause on their printing occurred between roughly 1963 and 1976. In 1976, the bicentennial reverse of the two was released. And therefore, after the 1976 marked the first time in like a very long hiatus that twos were printed. Alright, 30 rolls in. We should have 6 wheat pennies. We got 31. There we go. There's a Wheatie. But, honestly, I don't think pennies are going to be demonetized. We've stopped striking coins for other... We don't strike a lot of, half dollars anymore, but, again, you can go to the bank right now. I mean, actually not really because it's Sunday. But if it's on a business day, you can go right to the bank and, hey, I want half dollars, and most likely, if you have an account, they'll get you some. You won't get a lot, but that's because half dollars have a mintage much lower than pennies. 1950 Philly, 1946 Denver, 1944 Philly, 1944 Denver. Wheat pennies number 32, 33, 34, 35. Yeah. So honestly, I think pennies, if they stop making them now, it'd probably take well over 100 years for them to completely fall out of circulation. I think they'll still circulate for a very long time. I mean, again, this is a lucky box. But here we go. Look at this. This is a 1944 wheat penny. This penny has been circulating for, let's see, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 14. That wheat penny's been circulating for 81 years. This wheat penny, in its defense, it's the most common wheat penny. This penny has been around for over 81 years. Who knows how many people had this in their pocket? Look how long this lasted. And now it's going to be stored, 1944 Philly. It's going to be stored as the 36 wheat penny in this box. I find, these are Indian heads. Ah, damn it. I have in very specific order. Luckily, they shifted like that. So I just gotta go yoink. There we go. How many are in there? Yep. All right, there we go. Good thing they shifted. That way I know what order they go in. Now, hopefully, even though I hope the banks will still allow them. As of the 25th of January, or no, of September, I've been able to get them. I hope they better strike 2026 pennies. If they're going to end the penny, I want one thing to happen. I want it to end in 2026. If it's going to end, please, only end in 26. Make a special wheat penny. You know what they should do? If they have to end it, make, like, every 3 months, make, like, the wheat penny. Like, for the first 4 months, they should make the wheat penny design or whatever. Or they should combine all 3 designs. And I've done that, and it looks awesome. In my opinion, it is. I made a design that combined... Oh, there's nice old wheat penny. Not wheat penny. That's candy penny. I combined all the designs of the wheat penny memorial and shield. 1952 Denver, 1955 Denver, 1956 Denver. A lot of Denver mints today. We page number 37, 38, and 39. And yeah, because they did pass an act a couple years ago. They like in 2023. I think I don't know if it was Congress or the White House. They passed an act that called for the striking of bicentennial, but semi-quincentennial coinage. Semi means half, and quincentennial means 500. Half of 500, 250. Semi-quincentennial, 250 years. Of course, we know that the bicentennial quarter was struck. So was the bicentennial dollar coin and the bicentennial half dollar. Hopefully we will get a bicentennial penny, or a semi-quincentennial penny. Even if it has like a little bell privy, that will still be pretty cool. I'll hoard those. I'd kill to get a whole box of them. $17.50. Yeah, it seems to be that we're getting a lot of younger wheat pennies. Definitely want those older ones. Who doesn't? It's an estimate. I see 2 Wheaties already. Oh, let's see, there might be 3 or 4. There's another one. Just do a quick scan. Don't see another one. We got 3 right now. 1950 Denver, wheat penny number 40. And a 49 Denver, 47 Denver, wheat page number 41, 42. But honestly, I will say this. By law, the President of the United States of America has no authority to end the production of a coin. That has to be signed by Congress. So no president, nobody can say no. The Congress has to do it. They have to sign, say, yeah, no more penny, and then they don't strike it. So, however, the penny could come back. I'm not trying to like be that person, but I don't know some examples. I'm pretty sure there are some very uncommon cases where coinage has stopped production and then re-began. However, there are some coins that have been where we have stopped. There's a Wheatie, 1950 Philly. We pay number 43. Like, a couple of lost coinage denominations are the 20-cent piece that was lobbied in, but it only lasted like 3 years. We got the Trime, which is the 3-cent piece. The double, the 2-cent piece. We also had the, those are the 3 that we don't have that were under $1. The Trime, the 3-cent, 2-cent, and then the 20-cent piece. Ones that exceed $1, of course, the notable quarter eagle, which is about $2.50. Half eagle, which is $5. Eagle, which is at 10. and the double eagle, which is at 20. The double eagle saw its end in the 1933 with the death of the gold standard in America. The 1933 Philadelphia double eagle is the rarest in coin, or one of the most. It is not one of the most. It is the most valuable coin ever struck on Earth. Some of the most richest coin collectors have a couple of them, and they are illegal because they are not official. There was an auction, I think, in 2016 where a double eagle, a 1933 double eagle, sold for roughly $18.1 million. The most expensive coin on Earth. There's 1944 Philly, 1941 Philly, 1951 Denver. Wheat pennies number 44, 45, 46. Yeah. Another notable rare coin is the 1913 V-nickel. Yeah, because that was a transitional year between the Buffalo cent and the V-nickel. This guy went to Chicago and he brought himself 5 1913 V-nickels. This was not supposed to happen. The government is usually responsible for issuing mintage charts. And nowhere on the government data did it show the 1913 V-nickels were ever struck. So it was theorized this actual guy was a mint employee and struck his own coins. Most likely. The answer, I mean, we got a 100-year-old penny on the dot almost, essentially. 25 Philly. It's not clear where they came from, but all we know is that they exist and they're legitimate. But we know they come from the mint. But how exactly they were struck, if they were an error, or if they were actually struck by an employee, which even today is forbidden. I'm pretty sure it's even forbidden for anybody to even, like, touch. Even, like, get their hands in the money. $1925 Philly, 1947 Denver, 1942 Philly. Wheat pennies number 47, 48, and 49. To this day, only one robbery attempt was successful, and it was from the Denver Mint. I think in I think it was only when it was an ASA. Oh no. Denver Mint was actually an ASA office with they would grade gold. So when you were a miner, you'd bring your hello Olivia. When you were a miner, you'd bring your gold in and you'd bring it into the Denver ASA, and they would grade it and they'd say, hey, you got this much gold, it's this value. And if you paid extra, pretty sure if you paid extra, they would strike it in gold. $1945 Philly, wheat penny number 50. But by the way, I wonder. Oh, there's another wheat penny in my face, and I didn't even see it. 1940 Philly, wheat penny number 51. Back in the gold rush days, you would bring your gold to what we call an ASA office, and then they would grade the gold, and then they'd strike it into. They'd melt it, and then they'd give you the coin. And here's where it gets bad: is that a lot of these companies would strike slight. Hello, guys. By the way, Coinbase, ready for a fun history fact. Back in the gold rush days, they used to, again, bring their gold to ASA offices. And here's where it got bad. They'd strike your coins, right? Okay. But they'd often strike them underweight and then sometimes take gold for themselves. Or they'd strike them overweight and the company themselves would lose money. I forgot the name of the company. There's one company that was really good at their stuff. There are only a few really trusted ASAs. So I want you to imagine this. 1945 Philly, wheat penny number 52. I want you to imagine you bring 5 grams of gold into an Ace Obis, and they give you a coin, and that coin is like 4.95 grams. Now, you might be saying, oh, what's the whole deal? Is that gold is very expensive. Actually, let's say, like, how much is gold for a gram? I think it's like $70. Holy hell, it went up to 121? Good grief. Gold right now is $121.11. So let's say you brought in 5 grams of gold. You just brought in $605 and $605.55. Now, let's say 121.11 times 4.95 grams. If you bring if you brought in that and they gave you a fifth of a gram, you'd lose $5. Now that's not fair. You're losing money. You brought your gold in and you just lost the money, and that's an issue. Like back then, I'm not joking you. Money in America was so bad that let's say you signed up with Chase, you would get Chase money. You couldn't go to like PNC or anything. You had to spend your money at Chase. It was stupid. All right, 10 rolls left. Should have 8 wheat pennies. We got 52. But like, the own banks would issue their money, and by Lincoln's presidency, 2/3 of money, either anywhere between 1 to 2/3 of money was counterfeit. There's 1935 Philly. Wheat penny number 53. In fact, you want to hear the really most interesting fact you'll ever hear all day? The original purpose of the Secret Service was not to guard the president or not to do anything. The Secret Service was originally founded by Abraham Lincoln to snuff out counterfeits. So, there, again, it wasn't supposed to be a protection service like it is today. In fact, I think only like 9 years ago, or roughly around there, less than a decade ago, the Secret Service was then authorized to do, like, be a presidential bodyguard force or whatever. But their original purpose was to snuff out counterfeits. 1950 Denver, wheat penny number 54. That one is dented shit. But yeah, can you imagine this, right? If you take $3 bills when Lincoln was president before the Secret Service was founded, up to one of those bills would be fake. 1951 Denver. '51 Denver, wheat penny number 55. I knew about that, about the SS. I knew what? Canadian penny. Okay. Secret Service. I'm like, do you mean that one, do you mean the SS in Germany? I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, wait, the Secret Service. I forgot. Like, okay, I'm like, what? Although, the Nazi Germany, they did strike their own coinage. I don't know how much they did, but they did a little bit. The Confederacy also struck their own money. By the way, the Confederacy were they were copycats. Their money looked like shit. Like, they basically copied off the Union design a lot. What is the counterfeit rate today? What percent of... One in 40,000. That is... that is 0.0025%. That's a lot better than 33%. Like, can you... Like, back in the 1800s, you could literally print your own money. I'm not joking you. the laws were so stringent, you could just print your own money until the feds stepped in and said, yeah, that's a problem, and shut that shit down. Estimate. Now, in my opinion, that's definitely a good thing because, you know, let's say I make $1 and you do too. What's the exchange rate? What did you base your money off of? And that starts to become problematic because the other way of exchanging goods is bartering. Let's say I give you my iPhone. What is the value of an iPhone to you? Now, ask your neighbor what the value of an iPhone is. If you ask 10 people what the value of an iPhone is, and you said you cannot look at the value, you cannot, research it, just give me an on-the-spot answer. You'd get 10 different answers because everybody values resources differently. So by using money, of course, we have a value. For example, for 15 cents, I could buy a kilowatt of electricity. For about $3.20, I could buy a gallon of fuel. Yada yada. A fungible resource. 1947 Denver, 1957 Denver, and another 1957 Denver. We paste number 56, 57, 58. But yeah, we literally there was a time in the United States where you could almost essentially get away with printing your own money. And this is a coin fact that a lot of coin people know. But back then, people used to clip the ends off of coins. And this is because they used to be made with silver until 1965. And gold coins used to be struck. And we stopped at 33. We used to actually make what we called the peace dollar. Oh, 09. And the peace dollar was a silver dollar. And a lot of it was sent to China and Asia. And that's why apparently a lot of peace dollars have Asian markings on them. Or like Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan. Oh, it's Mac. That's my friend. He's being a shitter. So yeah, that is actually why a lot of these trade dollars have Asian languages on them, which is pretty cool. Also, another reason we shut down gold production is because people would literally just steal gold. They'd take the gold out of the country and sell it for higher prices. They would literally... That was literally basically like the today equivalent of, scalping. But anyway, back then, of course, we had a bunch of silver and gold coins. You used to clip on the ends or shave them down a little bit. And then you'd collect the shavings and then sell them. But, we put ridges on them. And you can see it's true because if you see pennies and nickels, there's no history of silver in either of the coinage. The half Disney or the half dime has a history, I think, of silver, but the nickel doesn't. Actually, I'm wrong. Because the nickel has a very brief amount of history, and that was only in late 1942 to 1945 when silver was introduced as a emergency alloy to combat... Hold on. My dog's being a crazy dog. But, our war got so bad that we had to take silver and replace copper in pennies. Or not pennies. There was, so let's see, it was 35% silver, I think 60% copper, and the rest, or like 50% copper and the rest manganese. Manganese is different from magnesium. Manganese can be used to reinforce metal and steel. So we had an emergent, right, this is 1944 Philly. Or no, 1944 S. So that's wheat bank number 59. So, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure, here's how the story goes, is that the war nickels is what they're called. The emergency alloy was rushed, And a lot of the war nickels you find are very worn down. But the war nickel, if I'm not wrong, marks the first time in American coinage history that the P Philadelphia mark was ever struck onto a coin. In the United States, that is. But if you actually, Coinbase, are you based in UK? That's first 44 Philly. E-penny number 60. Ready? No, I'm in Oklahoma. Oh, you're saying same things. Like you know about UK currency. Dude, UK's got some big ass pennies. They're bigger than a quarter. They're huge. But yeah, that's how nickels go. A lot of more nickels I find anyway are I know it was almost the way. It was the way till their new penny. Why? I'm not saying why so big, and the reason is because back then, the penny had a lot of buying power. Like for example, if anybody ever plays the game Red Dead Redemption, I've never played it, but I like the series. In 1899, a dollar. There's our nine. $1 in 1899 could buy $38 a day. Hell, in 1899, that's the Indian head penny year. Maybe. There, Reedy. 1944 Philly, 1951 Denver, 1941 Philly. Wheat pennies number 61, 62, 63. I know it's still new. Damn, you know a lot. Yeah. I will say, one thing that is interesting to me is that I have an ability to acquire knowledge and retain. I have decent knowledge in, like, not just coinage, but video gaming, fluid electrical and mechanical systems. Like, I am able to design an electric circuit, and I'm able to mostly interpret a circuit diagram, like ladder and rung logic. I'm able to, at a lower level, I'm able to program PLC units in ladder logic. I program in ladder logic on Studio 5000 from Rockwell Software. Actually, but I want to get a reference, like... For a reference, in the game, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, that's not even enough. I have to get a little bit more. Holy shit. Only when you lay it together, you realize how bad inflation is. Ow. If I'm not wrong, the inflation you want, you want it, but you only want inflation to go roughly around 4%. Anything beyond that is bad. Because if I'm not wrong, inflation can serve as a driver. Like, hey, you know, it's going to get expensive soon. You better buy this, you know. So, for reference, a penny in Red Dead Redemption 2 is worth this much. Take that in. That's 12 pennies short of a penny roll. That's 1 penny. So every penny you spend in Red Dead Redemption 2 is worth this much in current day. Just let that sink in. If you watch Twilight, the Twilight Zone, you could see like prices frozen in time. You could go in and get a waffle with you can get like a nice coffee with, I think, a waffle and a cupcake for 43 cents. It's nuts. But yeah, the fact that this much money is required to condense down to 1 penny. You know what I said? If I ever get gold, if I ever had a time travel machine, I would go back with like $100 and go buy gold and bring it back to 2016 or 2012. Because in 2012, gold spiked. I don't know what. Oh, wait, give me a second. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Gross. Let's see, gold had a really weird peak in 2016. It's weird. Gold's been on a rise ever since 2023. Huh. I was not aware of that. It is 3,700 an ounce. However, there is a very what-if con to gold. If they do asteroid mining, gold as a currency will collapse. Because there is just so much gold located in asteroids. Let's see. Let's see. Asteroid 16 Psyche is all precious metal worth trillions or quintillions. 700 quintillion. 16 Psyche can hold 700 quintillion. That is an astronomical amount of money. For example, a quintillion is 1,000. That is 1,000 quadrillion. 1,000 quadrillion. That's 1,000,000 trillion. That is 700 billion billion. That is 700 billion. Let me repeat that. That is 700 billion times a billion. That's nuts. Like how many cubic meters? I just have to crunch those numbers. In 16 Psyche. Is estimated to have how many cubic kilometers? How many cubic kilometers of gold exist? So let's see. On Earth, there are 249,000. No, there's 29,462. Are you ready for this, right? 29,000. Let's say no more than 30,000 cubic, like 29,500 cubic kilometers of gold in Earth. 16 Psyche has 5.75 million. Holy shit. Let me just crunch that for a second. Divided by 29,000, roughly 29,500. That 16 Psyche has 194 times the gold on Earth. That's a ton. If that gets mined and sent here, dude, even if 1% of that gets mined and sent here, 1%, that's all it takes, gold would literally go down by half. If the labor is cheap enough, that is. And there's not just gold. You have platinum, rubidium, you have rhodium, maybe even neodymium, other rare earth metals. Can you imagine that? Electronics would get so much cheaper if we could asteroid mine. Whoever does it's the first trillionaire, hands down. I agree with a lot of people when they say that whoever mines asteroids is going to be the first trillionaire. And you know, I hear something really weird. By United States law, U.S. law allows you to stake an asteroid and mine it. If you had the technology to mine an asteroid right now, you could do it. You could claim an asteroid, stake it, and say, hey, this is mine, and then you could mine it and bring the stuff home. Now, no one can do this because we don't really have the good amount of technology unless you're like a billionaire or whatever. But still, that exists. I think it's like freedom of like space, whatever, or like space resources law. I'm not too sure. Man, what about Mars? I wonder how much mining would you do good on Mars. Because it's a different planet, different chemistry of makeup, whatever. Anyway, alright, wheat pennies. We got 63 of those. Good grief. That's a good amount. Makes you happy because we've been getting a little bit lower average than other. That thing would be a mine and mine only. Well, you got to get to it first. 7 bicentennials, 517 Phillies, 5 estimates, 3 Woodies, 5 Canadian pennies, no Indian heads. Let's see. So if you took all the gold from 16 Psyche and formed it into a cube, each side would be 179 kilometers big. For reference, that is 100 miles wide. So, so let's see. Let's go to like Texas, right? If you formed a cube of gold from 16 Psyche, Here's what... It would literally be this big on each side. Look at this. That's how big a cube would be on Texas. It'd be almost as wide as the damn Panhandle. It'd be wider than the Panhandle of Oklahoma. 111 miles. And that's tall, wide, and long. That's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, we have 576 coppers. If you guys ever wondered why people steal catalytic converters, because they have rare earth metals in them. Platinum, because platinum's catalyst. Think about it. The word catalytic. Catalyst. Catalytic. Anyway, guys, that is a good box. Had some fun talking with you all today. I'm going to stream Borderlands 4 in a minute, so hey, catch me there. Peace.